Right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so now we're getting to the second part. The main mind wanks over. We're going to talk a bit more like practicalities. So, if you think of a set chronologically, you have your normal life when you're not doing game. Then you go out and you start your game. Then you actually find the girl and you open her, and then you lead her through to eventually trying to fuck her, right? So this is a chronology. In each slide, we can start at the beginning and work the way through. So let's start about your homework, the stuff you do when you're not out there hitting women. Hitting on women. I leave that in, eh? Outlaw. So your street presence reflects what you do before you hit the streets, right? So there are basic things to do, kind of that are not game technically related, which you really ought to be doing. Like, for example, go to the gym, right? Do you want to present yourself masculine? Well, look masculine. What's the easiest way to look masculine? Dress masculine and hit the gym, right? So, again, I'm kind of overly drawing the contrast, but let's say, I mean, in the gym you should work on everything, but if you want to be more belligerent, well, you work on your neck, your shoulders, and your arms, right? You look like a fucking thug, right? Give it the jiu-jitsu neck, you know? Whereas if you're wanting to be smooth, more of a Hugh Grant character, well, you'd be working more on being like lean and supple, right? So you have this like soft, easy grace about you, and you don't look like a big thug. Now, you're going to have your own body type, how hard you want to work, you know, like, but do something, right? Do something. Another one is your walk, right? Like, walk a lot, right? Daygamers walk a lot. That's one of the great things about Daygame, is you're always out. So, you know, like stretch it, you know, do stretching, right? Do stretching so that you're limber and soft and comfortable, right? In your mind, you know, make yourself think that you're a fucking tiger walking, right? Like, how do they walk? So, again, if you want...
How many stretches do you do?
Well, I'm not going to do them now, you fucking... So anyway, there's people who are better qualified to talk about it than me on stretching, so again, I'm kind of going to overdraw the contrast, but if you want to be belligerent, watch how boxers walk to the ring, right? Think of boxers who are known as being intimidating, or MMA fighters who are known to be intimidating, whether that's old school Mike Tyson or new like Conor McGregor or someone. Watch how they walk. Boxers have a walk, and if you train boxing, you naturally adapt that walk because of how you train. It kind of sets your muscle memory in a certain way. Or if you want to be more smooth, watch how the Hollywood heartthrobs walk, right? They have a walk, they have a presence, and it's different, right? Just to kind of exaggerate it, but boxers walk like this, right? Right, that's a belligerent walk. You see someone walking at you crossing the street, you're like, ooh, fucking hell. Whereas, you know, like, the rakish cad has more of a, like, saunter, you know? He's like this. There are different walks. Now, I'm not going to say which one you want to do, right? But all of this is going to impact on what you present to the girl in your street presence. So pick the way you want to be, the way that fits with you, you know, do a little bit of research, right? Watch some videos, see what they do. Which gets me onto archetypes. We have a concept in game we call ping range. A ping range, if you think of like a submarine, sends out a sonar ping, and that bounces off the landscape, bounces back, it's read by sonar in order to build a virtual map underwater, right? That's a ping. Now what happens in the street or in a bar is people are pinging each other all the time, right? They're checking each other out, they're seeing who's talking to who, where the danger is, where the hotness is, where the money is, whatever it is, right? Whatever's on people's mind, they're pinging for it all the time. So you're pinging girls when you go out, right? You're looking and, you know, you see that hottie, your head turns, right? You see the fatty, you don't notice her, right? These girls are pinging you and you respond to the ping. Well, it goes both ways. Is girls are checking guys out on the street. There's certain things girls are looking for, and to the extent you embody those, girls are going to notice you. So your ping range is the relative width of how many girls will notice you and have an interest. So really tall, good-looking guys, it's very wide. Guys who don't have these naturally attractive characteristics, it's really narrow. Now there's always something, right? There's always some girls out there who are going to like you, But before you even get as far as doing your technical game and opening a girl, it makes sense to widen that ping range as wide as you possibly can so that more girls notice you and are instinctively interested. Now, how can you do that? Well, it's really hard to grow taller, obviously. But what you can do is you can make yourself an archetype. Right? You can move yourself from, I'm not saying you guys are this, but let's just talk about the hypothetical total chode. Right, the total chody office guy, right, who's ill-fitting khaki slacks, blue ill-fitting shirt tucked into his belt, haircut like fucking somebody off Brookside, no presence about him, right? He doesn't fit an archetype, right? You don't look at him and think, ooh, cowboy, fucking biker, rock star, cad, right? You look at him and you think, oh, nondescript cubicle guy. That's exactly how girls see him, right? Nondescript cubicle guy. And you know, so far as I know, it was Keith Richards who was fucking all the birds, not the nondescript cubicle guys. So you'll notice how I dress is a certain archetype. How Tom dresses, how Eddie dresses, how Richard dresses, right? We've picked a certain way to dress, and I picked basically the James Dean bad boy look, right? Leather biker jacket, scuffed up blue jeans, boots, fucking skulls and shit. I don't dress like this at home, right? When I'm in Newcastle, just take my time off, I'm in a fucking sweatshirt and sweatpants, right? I haven't worn these rings for 3 weeks, right? It's like, this is not how I dress generally when I'm sitting on my bed. You know, normally I wear Monster Feet slippers and play Fallout, right? But when you're hitting the street, you want to be an archetype. Like, I was just chatting to one of the guys just earlier about this, is imagine your friend comes into work on a Monday morning, he's like, mate, fucking hell, Saturday night, God, had an awesome time. And you're like, really, what happened? He's, oh, this fucking bird I met, man. Yeah, I met this bird, was copping off with her, made out with her, took her home. Really? Yeah. Oh, mate, she was a cheerleader. What images immediately come to your mind there, right? Or let's say he said different, he said, oh yeah, she was a ballet dancer. Different images come to your mind, right? How about if he says, oh yeah, she just worked in an office? It's not as like woohoo, right? But there's like, we have archetypes we look for in girls, you know, stripper, cheerleader, nurse, whatever it is, right? There's fucking fetish websites for them, right? But there's like archetypes, right? If you say this one word, cheerleader, you've immediately thought of something, right? She's a bit larger than life now. You think about with the pom-poms and the skirt on and going, you-ha, go fucking Reds or whatever it is, right? Now you want to leverage those archetypes for yourself. Right? So the girl looks at you and she doesn't just think, oh, this is Simon who's 36 years old, who lives in Milton Keynes and who does fucking computer programming, right? Because, okay, that might be you, but right now on the street, you got your leather jacket on, you got your fucking skull rings, you're walking like a fucking boss. So what she actually looks at is like, that's that bad boy called Simon, right? And suddenly, like, the girls who like that sort of guy, the girls who watch movies and look at James Dean and, ooh, fucking hell, he's cool, they now index all of that to you. What you've done, you've just widened your ping range, right? So, yeah, you don't have to grow 4 inches taller to suddenly attract attention from women, right? That's something that's outside your control. But how you dress, how you carry yourself, putting yourself all into one of these masculine archetypes will affect how girls look at you. And you can do this, but it's homework, right? This is not about technically what you do in the street yet. What's another way you can do that? Well, read, right? When you read, it's basically you're borrowing someone else's brain, right? It's like having a conversation with someone really smart at their smartest. So read the kind of things which support the archetype you're trying to present. So I mean, I love hard-boiled detective fiction. I love that. I love the original Conan the Barbarian stories, right? These are like relatively belligerent, outlaw, Sigma things, right? But that's me. You're going to have different things which fit your personality and goals, but whatever archetype you're picking, whatever like fits your version of ideal masculinity, read stories, you know, whether it's biographies, non-fiction, or whether it's fiction, read those sorts of things which are full of those characters, and then you'll start being more of that. Right? You'll kind of absorb through osmosis how they act and how they think, and again it reinforces this archetype, widens your ping range, makes you more congruent. So this is all homework where you can pick image, avatar, an archetype of a particular form of idealized masculinity and bring yourself closer to it so you can then leverage it once you're on the strip. Right, next slide please.